Welcome to episode 5 of the Beyond the Sidelines podcast, fellas. 5 episodes.
5 episodes. We've got a lot of comments saying Finn's a funny guy, so...
I've heard that too.
I actually haven't. I just made it up to make you feel better. But
I don't really believe it.
I do. Anyway,
talk's cheap. Talk shit. Yeah, a bit of fake news.
Anyway, guys, big week of sport.
Pretty
Thrilling,
massive.
disappointing, depressing. And depressing's a fitting word because, Gussie, it's happened again.
Yeah, I was there. I was at the game, and there's not much worse than what happened on Saturday.
Imagine being a BBC fan. Ugh.
BBC versus TSS, the decider, arguably, for the GPS title. There's still 3 weeks to play, but TSS, they have their bye week this week, so they've only got 2 games between them and a title. So we can't really rule them out, I think.
No, you can't rule them out, but you pretty much got to win out. Do you see TSS losing?
No, that's what I mean. I don't.
Oh, this was definitely the decider because TSS is the remaining games they have they're not difficult.
I mean, TSS haven't played. They have played. They have played grammar. My bad. I was about to say they haven't played grammar yet.
Jeez, maybe you are the funny guy.
Evidently not. Funny looking, maybe, but that's about it.
I will say this: that TSS statistically probably the best team in GPS rugby history. Oh yeah, they are definitely up there. So
best attacking team anyway.
The only way that's going to count, the only way that's going to matter, is if they have that trophy at the end of the season, right?
Great observation.
Yeah, that was. Are you kidding?
The only way they're going to be the best team at the end of the year
is if they win.
The only way they're going to be the best team in history. That's what I was saying.
Uh-huh.
Well, they've gone a long way to winning the comp this year. They've beaten Nudgy. They've beaten BBC. Yeah,
it's round 6 and you can say they've already got it in the bag.
Pretty much wrapped up.
I agree with you. Don't get me wrong.
That's something you rip into. They've gone a long way to winning the title. Yeah, Gussie, they've won every game. Not when I'm trying to talk about history.
God.
I think it's just your turn to be ripped into.
And it wasn't funny.
Do you need to tell Mum on me?
Yeah, I'm going to.
Don't.
Yeah.
Dude, don't.
Anyway, it was very depressing.
Don't tell Mum.
The thing about BBC, I will say this.
Dude, I didn't even hit you. Shut up.
Shut up now.
Okay.
The thing about BBC, though, is they do this.
Over here.
Yeah.
BBC, they do this every year. I remember, I think it was grade 10. BBC beat Nudgy at Miskin, and that was the year. All stars were pointing to the fact that BBC were going to win the title, and once again, they let us down.
I feel like they've been 5 years though.
What do you know?
Like, wait, this is BBC's year.
Oh yeah,
this is our
every
year.
single year.
It's really
we find a way to blow it.
See, that's why it's so depressing to be a BBC fan, old boy, and a Liverpool fan, because I pretty much say the same things and get disappointed equally every year. So
imagine being a grammar fan and a Dogs fan.
Yeah, but they're 2 teams you don't expect to win.
Makes it all the more sweeter when we do.
Anyway.
And get into the finals. Come on, you Dogs.
Guys, we had a great guest this week.
We certainly did.
We say that every week, but we really did this week.
It means a lot. There may have been a interruption from a helicopter at some stage, so...
They'll have to listen, though, because there might not have been.
There might not have been, but there might have been. But
there probably was.
There may have been.
Anyway, Lucy Stevens, hear what she had to say. Joining us now is Lucy Stevens, former rower for Brisbane Girls Grammar and the University of Alabama. How are you, Lucy?
Hello, I'm good. Going well.
So professional. So professional.
Oh, yeah.
So good, Finn. What a great intro. I
You're
love
just
that.
Killing it, mate.
Should we talk about me for 20 minutes?
I think so. So, welcome. We've got a new host of the show, Lucy Stevens. Yep. We're interviewing Finn Morton today, former Brisbane Boys College athlete.
Okay, this was fun. Lucy, why rowing?
Why rowing? Honestly, couldn't tell you. It was like a sport that when I started at high school, I knew that they had it, and I was like, yeah, let's try this out. It'll be fun. I didn't think I was gonna make a team. I thought I was gonna be the one person who doesn't get in a crew, but turned out it worked out. So yeah.
So did you start at grammar?
Yeah, in grade 8, so first year, I was like, yeah, we'll give it a go. So yeah.
What were the first things they taught you at grammar?
For rowing or
for rowing.
just in general.
How to row?
Just in general.
How to row?
We're talking about rowing, aren't we?
Yeah. I think it was how to hold an oar properly, how to put a boat down. I feel like they probably sat us on an erg first and was arms, body, legs, legs, body, arm. But I remember the first like thing that we did, it wasn't like the first, but we did like an erg trial, a 1K, and like, you know, everyone's going like so ham and it's so bad. But I like remember doing it, and then I did like an okay time on it, and I was like, oh, okay, like maybe this will work out. But yeah, I remember like I've coached grade 8s now, and it's so funny watching them like trying to teach them to like carry a boat and everything. So yeah.
And what's rowing like at grammar? Is it competitive? Is it big or?
I don't know. I feel like it is amongst rowers, but it's not. Everyone kind of knows it's a thing, but it's not really like. It's not like water polo or something where everyone's like, oh my god, it's like head of river this weekend. But then it's kind of like on the sidelines. Everyone knows that it's like a big thing.
So it's beyond the sidelines of.
Yeah. Oh yeah. As soon as I said that, I was like,
I am the funny guy.
All right. Anyway,
what other sports are available? So you
at grammar?
Well, in the term you specifically, right? It's term 3, correct?
Yeah. Term 2, term 3. It's like volleyball, netball. I think they're the big ones.
And so what made you choose rowing over those two?
Well, okay, it's kind of funny. In my grandma was always like, so that boat thing over there.
There's a wooden
like
boat in the corner, by the way.
So like, like in the family. But my granddad used to my great granddad made like boats for the Australian team when they were like still wood.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah, and so no, it's like I literally had no idea, and then I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna try rowing out, and then my grandma was like, yeah, you know, you're a great granddad. So
bit of family history.
yeah, and so then
That's
I was
awesome.
kind of like, well, now I have to do it. But
That's so good.
But when you signed up, did you know about the early mornings?
no, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I did, but in grade 8 and grade 9 we like trained in the afternoon, so it was
great.
It was chill. Yeah.
Have you gotten used to the early mornings? It's
No.
kind of no.
Some people
Never gets easier.
What was the first one like? The first early morning.
I think I was fine because I was kind of like on adrenaline.
Oh, you're
I was
excited.
like, yeah, I got up this morning. But then yeah, grade 12 was pretty rough. But it was so like in like high school for grammar, because like it's before school and we had to get there by like 8 o'clock, so we started at 4:45, and like I tell everyone in America that, and they're like, oh my god, because we start at 6 o'clock, because like we don't have to have 8 a.m. classes, you know, and so everyone was like, what the hell? Like, how did you do that? So yeah, it was pretty rough.
Yeah. And what was your year 12 season like?
It was good. It was interesting. It was kind of like a few people had quit, so it was kind of like a bit of kind of getting everyone who was left over, but like it was good. I mean, we had just come off like, I trained at like Toowong that year, and we had like done nationals and stuff like that, so it was kind of like coming back to grammar was a bit weird, and it like, yeah.
And of course, the Head of the River's one of the most important races of the calendar year.
Yeah.
What was it like competing in something like that?
I remember it was so funny. Before we got on the water, like all of us just started crying in grade 12, and it was like we had this like pretty. It was kind of a rough season, I'll say, but like, and you know, not everyone gets on in girls rowing, I will say that, but like, you know, it I don't know, it all just kind of hit us. We're like, oh my god, like the last time. Yeah. Even though we were still going to be rowing for like clubs and things, it was like, yeah. But so I just remember we were like carrying the boat down crying, and everyone was like, what is going on?
Now,
Those are the weird girls.
Yeah. Is there much rivalry with girls rowing?
Yeah, there is. I don't know if grammar's really. I mean, grammar's kind of in it now, but we didn't used to be. But it's kind of. I'd say for a while it was Somerville and Maggie's, and grammar. I feel like grammar's kind of like the outsider that we're not really. I feel like we kind of just.
I know.
Throw ourselves into all the rivalries, like yeah, we're in this, but we're not really.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Stuart Home and Hilda's, I feel like are kind of battling it out at the moment. So yeah.
Well, how did you guys go in your senior year? What did you place?
I thought you guys did quite well.
I can't remember. That's how like I think it was like probably like 5th or 4th something. I don't know.
It's different for every meet.
Yeah, we had it. It was we weren't one of the crews that were like gonna be winning. So that's all. We don't really remember.
It's a great mindset to have.
I don't know. It was kind of. It was like the people we were training hard and everything, and we had good rowers in the boat, but it was just like some of the schools, like I know Somerville, there was like some girls who were, you know, rowing for Oz and stuff that we just knew were like so much faster than us. So I feel like with the erg scores and stuff we had, there was only so much you could do to like get like race against them, you know. So Yeah.
What would you do to prepare before a race, like the head of the river?
Like on the day?
On the day, yeah.
On the day. So it's like we go have a chat with the coach like an hour before, go over race plan, and then you kind of start warming up, like moving around kind of like an hour and a bit before, yeah. And then we do like a land warm up on the erg, and then, you know, do some like race builds and stuff, and then go have like a little team chat, and it gets very intense, like the last hour. And then, then get on hands on the boat and off you go.
And how does that compare to now with Alabama and with or different teams? How does it change?
It's pretty similar everywhere. Like, we didn't really at Bama, we didn't really do as much of like an erg land warm up, but it's still the same. You know, everyone gets the same nerves before it. You have the same kind of chat with your coaches. So yeah.
And how was your time at the University of Alabama?
It was good. It was interesting. I really enjoyed the rowing, which I was kind of nervous that it was going to be, obviously going to the States. You hear not horror stories, but like that it's, you know, intense and like good hard training. And I feel like, as anyone is, kind of nervous that it was going to be super hard. But like it turned out, it was hard obviously, but it wasn't that different from what I'd done. And so I really enjoyed like the training pretty much every day. And yeah.
So
it wasn't that much of a step up.
It was in like the amount that we did it, but like it was like pieces and stuff that I'd done before. Like, I don't know what I was thinking that like, because I mean, everyone who trains for rowing, there's only like so much variety you can do. And so I was thinking like, oh my God, we're going to have to do all these like different pieces. It's going to be so different. But like, it was just rowing, just, you know, more times in the week.
Well, what's your training regime like?
So it's 6 days, 2 times a day, except Wednesday and Saturday. So we'd have like rowing in the morning, ergs in the afternoon, or rowing and then weights. And that was kind of like, 6 days, 20 hours a week is what it is.
And what position in the boat do you sit?
It depends. I was like, I was stroking a few boats in Alabama, and then it just kind of, I always seem to be in 5 seat, which is like in the middle of the boat. It's not a fan of it. I was sat in it for too long. But
is there one that's harder than the other?
Not really. So like it, everyone, it kind of changes. Like each seat has like a different role. So like middle 4 in an 8 at least is like kind of like the powerhouse. They just sit there and pull on the oar. So they don't really need to think about anything. Then like bow pair is supposed to be kind of like technical. So that's the back of the boat. And then stern pair is like, they have to set the rhythm and everything. So it just kind of depends on like whether you have good technique, or, you know, if you're one of those kind of just like muscle heads who just rip it through, you can go sit in the middle and it doesn't really matter.
So that's why you're sitting in the middle, right?
Oh yeah. But yeah, so it just like, it depends on what kind of, and what your like crew needs as well. You know, if it's like stronger, or, you know, then that depends who you'll put in stroke seats so that everyone can follow them. Yeah.
Do you only race in 8s, or do you race in quads and stuff?
No. So, well, in America, it's all like sweep boats, which I actually found it's really interesting, because like, so we start in grade 8, you know, you start rowing in quads, and like I did a bit of sculling in high school, and then in like the senior years you shift to 8s, and like then you learn how to sweep. But in America they start in 8s, and so half the girls, pretty much everyone, like didn't know how to scull. And I kind of noticed it with like technique that there was like a few Kiwis on the team as well who would come from like my kind of background, and we just like, the technical base that you get from having like years in sculling and stuff is much better than when you just get chucked in an 8. So
well, how does the technique change?
So it's like sculling is like 2 oars and sweeping is 1 oar. And basically when you have 1 oar, you can, and especially in an 8, you can just like kind of get away with not having the best technique, because it's just like, you know, you just want the boat to go fast. Whereas in like, say, a scull or something like that, you need to balance the boat and get it running before you can just rip through the water. So,
and you mentioned before that there were a few Kiwis on at the university. I've heard there's a lot of Australian Kiwis, Brits that go over to America to row.
Yeah, I think it is because we like start kind of so young compared to them. So we have like 5 years plus of rowing already, and so we come in like already knowing like technique and stuff like that, and so it's a good way to like get into the schools over there.
And does it make it easier to transition?
I don't know. I think for the Kiwis it was easier, because I was the only Aussie on our team, but there was like 3 Kiwis, and so they kind of like band together. Like, not like on purpose, but, you know, they just do. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's nice I was really good friends with one of them, and it was like, you know, having someone who, I say that basically Australian. So it was definitely nice having like one or two of them, but yeah.
Yeah, and you're moving over to Boston Uni now.
Woohoo.
So lucky. So jealous.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah, well, what was your reason for moving?
So,
if we can talk about
yeah,
that.
no, there was a few things. It was like, the location. I don't really know what I was thinking when I first like was going to Bama. Like,
it's a great university.
Yeah, but like obviously it's in the middle of nowhere. I think I can say that.
Yeah,
like, and yeah, I mean, and like class wise, it's not like the best ranked university, obviously, because it's like athletics. But I was like, yeah, we'll see how it goes. But, you know, it just turned out that classes were super easy. It was really hard to get anywhere, like, to do. Like, if I wanted to go to a cafe or something, I had to catch an Uber. And, like, it's just, I couldn't walk places. And, like, it was fine. And, like, I feel like for certain people it works. But I was just like, you know, I'm here to, like, enjoy it. If I can go somewhere else, you know, where I feel like is more kind of my style.
What do you mean? Tuscaloosa's not a hive of culture and interest.
Oh, no. If you want frat parties, it is.
I mean...
Yeah.
What attracted you to Boston then?
So, well, I had actually spoken to them in grade 12, like when I was deciding where I went. And I like went and visited there and everything, and it was very high on my list of where I was going to go, but I had got like scholarship offers in the early round, and it kind of came down to like, do I wait to find out if they're going to give me an offer and say no to the other schools and then like not guarantee that I have somewhere to go, and I was just like, no, I just need to take it, you know. And so yeah, and then so when I was like looking to move somewhere, I was kind of saying, you know, I want to be at a school that's in a city and is more like academic. And so Boston's like kind of that middle range where it's not like a big public school, but it's not like MIT or something like that.
What's the rowing program like?
Their men's program is a lot better than their women's, but like it's pretty good. Boston rowing is such a big thing, like the Charles and everything. So it's more of like rowing culture, I guess. Even if they're not the fastest team, you know, they're pretty good, and it's like within the school a lot more. So yeah.
So this decision was primarily academic, and rowing was secondary, or? It was,
I don't know, it was kind of more of just like the overall experience, I feel like, because I was saying there was like a few different things that if only one of them had been off, like if it was in like easy classes and stuff, but I was in somewhere where I was like really happy, then it wouldn't have mattered. But it was like, just because kind of all those things didn't like,
it just wasn't the right
out.
fit.
Yeah, I was just like, you know, it would have been fine if I stayed there, but I was like, not. Yeah, it was just a mixture of them that was. I was kind of like, yeah, let's see what else there is. So,
and how does the rowing program, compare to Alabama's?
Well, it's a bit interesting. So I'd say they're pretty equal. Like they're both kind of I'd say they're like on the up and coming, and they're like, they have the facilities to go fast, but they're just kind of getting there. And so, yeah, I mean, Alabama, we were in the Big 10 or Big 12. I think Big 12.
Yeah.
Not Big 10. The Big 12 conference, which is like Texas and stuff like that. And Texas's rowing team is like insane. They are just, I don't really know how it works, but they're just like so fast. And so it was always going to kind of be, can we get second place in the conference to make it to NCAAs? But which this year I'm pretty sure they did come second. So they just missed out on getting to NCAAs. But we got a new coach and things this year. So and then Boston, they've kind of been like third, second in their conference as well. So because Navy is in the Patriot one.
Sorry, there's just a helicopter going by.
Perfect.
Yeah. Do we need to wait for it?
I don't know. I think we should include this.
That is really, really annoying.
It's fine. Brief intermission.
Bloody hell.
I don't think I've ever had a helicopter go over.
Oh, just perfect timing.
Yeah.
Can't put the whole helicopter on vibrate, can they?
Yeah. Do not disturb, please.
Yeah, Jesus.
Stop trying to be the funny guy.
Oh, all right. Whatever. Can we include this, please?
Really good.
Well, I mean, the editor's going to have to look after that one.
Good content.
He's doing loops.
He's really having a joyride up there.
It's probably like the traffic one.
Could be.
Yeah.
Chopper Dave up
going
there.
over Coro.
Chopper Dave.
Chopper Dave, yeah, doing some
I
traffic.
can figure out.
Can anyone give us a good traffic in person? Like a traffic read?
Effie.
You're the one who works at Triple M, mate.
It's busy on the roads.
Stay away from Hale Street.
We've got a
They
breakdown on Corridor.
Tingalpa. They always say Tingalpa.
There's been a collision on Miskin Road today. All right, let's continue.
Well, where did we leave off?
Let's just start with the question because I forgot as well.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you had scholarship offers
Yes.
from other ones before. Are you allowed to talk about where you got them from?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have a lot, so. But it was, so when I signed up was when I was like getting offers, it was from really Minnesota and Alabama. So, but that was in the early signing period, which is November of like our grade 12. So basically it was like more than a year because I would leave in August the next year. So it was like very early on. I don't even think we were finished grade 12 then. It was like right at the end. So it was kind of overwhelming to be like making decisions for the rest of my life when grade 12 was going on. Yeah.
What advice would you give the younger rowers if they're considering possibly moving over to America?
Yeah, I'd say like just
Don't go to Tuscaloosa.
No, it is a good program, I'll say that. But yeah, I would say just like do your research, or not even, just talk to as many coaches as you can. And I think that was my problem. I didn't really talk to enough to have options of like where I wanted to go. And so literally just like I did all the emailing and stuff myself, which with grade 12 is, oh my God.
Thanks, Effie.
Jesus.
Effie. All right.
How's she feeling? Effie, come here. Come on.
Come here, buddy.
Dog.
So evil.
Absolute monster.
With grade 12 is like, it was quite a lot because, I mean, even though it is just writing emails, you know, it's like you have to write this whole thing about yourself, then send it to as many coaches and then reply with anything they want, or like get videos and stuff if they want to see it. And so it's kind of like being your own secretary, like on top of schoolwork, which, you know, you can kind of get, if you're like me, you can get in the habit of, oh, you know, I'll just respond to it later, it's fine. But I would say you need to like stay on top of it, and it will like, you'll be so glad that you've done it like once it's worked out. And then
And where do you want to take your rowing? Is there
so
professionals Olympics?
not really. I'm kind of like, if just this year they had a team like is that it again? They had an Oz team like based of students in the like US. And so, you know, it's like if I do that, that's good. But also I just kind of like having it on top of like, it keeps me doing something and like with school. But I don't think after uni I'll probably finish, because like I feel like I've kind of done what I want to, and you know, it's got me to the US. So that's kind of when I was in like the younger grades rowing and I saw older girls doing that, I was like, yeah, like I want to study overseas and row. And so kind of got that. And yeah.
And why should kids pick rowing over other sports?
Because it teaches you so much more than any other sport would, I'd say. You know, it's like the sport in itself is like difficult, and yeah, it's like gonna be tiring and whatever, but the stuff that you get out of it is just, it's, yeah, I don't know, you can't really, I feel like no one besides rowers really understands what like the feeling of when you're in a boat or when you finish a race after racing with like 8 other girls, and you know, you guys like getting it together and doing well is just, yeah, it's different. I mean, I used to do like soccer and stuff like that, and it's like, yeah, it's fun, but it's not like, I don't know, you really push yourself to the edge, and it's just like something, when you know you're with a whole other team and you're all doing that together, it's just, yeah. Well,
sports like soccer, they're so individualistic,
yeah,
even though it's a team.
Yeah.
Whereas I think rowing, you're so dependent on everyone else, right?
Yeah.
Such synchronization.
And it's like you can't even if you're rowing together, if there's like, I don't know, 2 girls are like fighting or something, it's, yeah, it just won't work out. You know, you really have to help each other. Yeah.
Right. Well, I think that's it, right, guys? Thank you, Lucy. Thanks for joining us.
And
we're back, boys. What did you guys think of Lucy Stevens?
Oh, brilliant.
I mean, the helicopter wasn't ideal,
No.
but Did we make the most of it?
I think
Just
it added a bit of atmosphere,
Bit
didn't
of
it?
character.
Yeah.
Bit of character. I enjoyed it though.
Yeah.
Excellent interview. She's in the States at the moment actually. She had a flight the other day. We recorded this earlier the week. She left like the day after we recorded.
Yep.
So good on her. What a good sport.
Very interesting though, the comparisons between Alabama and Boston University.
Very interesting.
And her reasons for wanting to go to Boston because of largely cultural reasons, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because the rowing programs are pretty similar.
Yeah.
For both the schools. So
I mean, rowing in Boston is a bigger thing than it is in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
A lot colder. A lot colder.
A lot colder. But
she knows what she's in for, I guess. So.
Yeah.
And she's got friends there as well, so that'll be good. This week,
League.
we're starting off with a bit of league.
God, I love the rugby league. Well, round 22 of the Intrust Super Cup. It was a round of close finishes in comparison to some of the scorelines we've seen before.
Would you say it was a massive week of...
Massive week? You
interesting
sound so
action?
interested in it.
Yeah, okay. I actually wrote up notes this time.
You did,
so
good
I
work.
don't say massive as much.
You did really well with that.
Okay. Anyway, the Townsville Blackhawks actually got a pretty amazing win, scoring 2 tries in the final 10 minutes to defeat Wynnum Manly
But there was-
22-18.
There was a send-off in that game, right? Just before
Yes.
the half. How rare is that, eh?
Yeah.
In rugby league to have a send-off.
Oh,
never
unbelievably
happens.
rare, yeah.
Do you know what he got sent off for?
I don't know what he got sent off for. It wasn't a TV game, so I didn't actually see it. But he was sent off in the first half as well.
36th minute.
36th minute. It's a pretty great fight back from Townsville to get up over Wynnum with a player down so early on in the game.
But it's massive for their season, eh? Because if they
Massive,
don't
huh?
win that... Yeah, massive. If Townsville don't win that, because the Devils also won, they would have been equal on
Yep.
points going into the final round
Yep.
of the regular season.
Yep.
Which could have had major repercussions for the top 4.
It's big for their top 4 aspirations, yeah. The Ipswich Jets also won late, keeping their slim chances of finals alive, although it's pretty much impossible for them now.
How good's your maths, mate? It is impossible.
Yeah, it is impossible. They're 3 points off, so yeah, it is impossible now.
For the record, they're 3 points out of the 8, and there's 1 game to go. 2 points for a win. So
yeah.
I can't tell.
That was due to other results.
I can't tell if you didn't do your research or if you're just stupid.
Bit of both, mate.
Bit from
of
column
both.
A, bit from column B, I reckon.
I just need to calm down a bit, I think.
I
the
think
Norths-
so. Take a breather.
The Norths Devils also got an important 2 competition points in their hopes for a top 4 finish.
Remember, I just said that.
Yeah, you did.
Yep.
And we move on.
Right. Okay. And the Northern Pride also surprised the Eastern Suburbs Tigers, beating them 18-16. And they haven't won many games this year, Northern Pride, but managed to stun the Tigers side.
I'm still so surprised about that because the Pride, they won the competition. It would have been 4 or 5 years ago. So how's that for a fall from grace?
It's pretty good of... I don't know what to say. It is a fall from grace, yes.
Accurate statement. Good
Yes.
on you.
Yeah.
Continue.
Right. Okay. So the Falcons and the Bears. That was the game.
Game of
the
the
TV
round, right?
game. The game of the
Game of the
round. First versus second. Pretty much a grand final preview.
A grand final preview. Okay.
Yeah.
So
those two.
we're
Those
just
two.
forgetting about Wynnum. We're forgetting about the Blackhawks.
Well, I mean, they've been the best 2 sides all year.
And that's why the Bears are third.
Yeah. Right. Whatever.
Sorry, I really need to cut back a bit. I'm
Yeah,
getting,
you do.
You're ripping in.
I'm getting all my funny out
You're
now. and it's
ripping
just,
it. Mate,
Yeah,
save
right.
it up.
I
Save
need to
it up.
space it out a bit.
You're so funny.
I really am.
Wynnum Manly, the Seagulls actually did brush aside the Magpies side, and the Dolphins continued their unbelievable form in the last game. In the last few games.
Wynnum is a weird place. Just geographically, not even
I've
football
never
related.
been to Wynnum.
You've never been to Wynnum?
No.
That's a nice place.
Don't even
but
know where
it's
it
an
is.
Odd spot.
But if you want to find out more about Wynnum, is there somewhere we can listen?
There is, not our podcast.
Not our podcast.
But there's
still,
a
I think.
podcast called Unpacking Brisbane. Cheeky plug for them. Really good podcast. Would recommend listening to it.
But I think on the Falcons, though, again, it is a grand final preview of sorts. It could be. But the Falcons, they are still just so dominant.
They've only lost 1 game.
They've
all
only
year.
lost 1 game. They've won 21.
Yeah.
And I don't think winning by 6 really showcases just how dominant this team is. We've said it before, I'll say it again. This team could be an NRL side.
Yeah, they really could.
The one game they did lose though was against the Dolphins, the Redcliffe Dolphins. the Dolphins have actually they've won 4 in a row now, scoring 167 points and only conceding 18. Now that's quite unbelievable when you consider it's been in 4 games as well.
Again, that society's peaking at the right time.
Yeah,
So,
right before finals.
I think we said this 2 weeks ago. Watch out for the Dolphins, and that reigns true right now.
Yeah, they're really making that bid to be an NRL side at this point, really.
Yeah, but could you have an NRL team based in Redcliffe?
I don't know. How's their attendance?
Their attendance is all right, but I just don't think they have the capacity. Like they
It's not a huge stadium, is it?
no, but I mean, could they do better than the Titans? Probably.
Probably.
Probably
It's
get more
it's very
people at the
nice.
game.
Like, their supporter base there is really good.
It is.
I don't know about their attendance, but
Passionate, eh?
very passionate and very... Everyone's got a bumper sticker.
Mm.
Everyone's got a signed jersey in their house, in their memorabilia room.
Mm.
So are we talking about this wrong then? Because we're talking about expansion. Should we be talking about a Div 2?
Inclusion.
No, Div
Oh,
2.
Div 2.
But could
Mm.
promotion and relegation work in rugby league?
I don't know.
Because
Hmm.
say the Roosters get relegated, just how much history goes out the window? That's a lot.
A lot. Yeah.
But it
Well,
can come back up.
I don't know how it would work, really. I mean, sometimes teams just have an off season and they just play terribly.
But that's sport, though. It's
Yeah.
not about
Yeah.
having an off season. It's about being consistent year to year.
There's no
Yeah.
stakes at that point. You can be bad and then, what? Oh, we
Yeah.
get another crack at it next year.
Because that's what kind of annoys me about the Titans, if I'm being honest.
Mm.
You know, they're
Perpetually.
consistently, bottom 3.
Yeah.
But they've got no real reason to fix their culture. I know they're
Mm.
trying to, and I wish them the best, but they've got no real incentive, really,
No.
of, we'll get the wooden spoon, we'll try and come back next year and, try and push for 12th spot.
Yeah.
Anyway,
There's no real reason to go, well, we're still getting the same advertising money, still getting the same TV rights money. Why? Like, it's not like we drop down a tier and then we have to fight back for that money like it works in, like, the Premier League and similar leagues.
I just love promotion relegation.
It
and
works.
It's from the English football system,
Well,
isn't
yeah.
it?
Well, we've
Mm.
been talking about it for A-League and how that would work. My mates in our group chat had a big conversation about it the other day. It's really tough. Like, to build a football culture in the country, it's tough.
I guess that's a pretty good segue.
Yeah.
So I think we'll segue on to what we went to on Wednesday and the Wednesday before, FFA Cup action.
So good. I'm loving this FFA Cup. Have you guys seen any FFA Cup games before we went to them?
No?
Me neither. They're so good.
So the first game we went to in the
Yes.
round of 16 was Olympic up against A-League side Adelaide United.
Yes,
That was at Perry Park,
it was.
and that was pretty dramatic too, wasn't it? That was 2-2 going until, I think it was the final 10 minutes.
It was. And the Olympic faithful were out in force with the drums, chanting the whole game.
Oh, they were brilliant,
That
weren't
was
they?
very cool.
You could have seen it on our story on our Instagram. So if you're not following our Instagram, go to _beyond_the_sidelines_. You'll see every time we go to a sports match, you'll get a cheeky story. And it was really awesome. And then this week, a few days ago, we went to see Strikers versus Manly.
Manly United.
God.
Jeez, the Manly faithful were out in force.
They did
The
rock
Manly
up,
faithful.
and I think
oh my God.
the less
God.
said about them, the better.
Yeah, a little bit.
Throwing
Poor.
drinks, throwing bins. Like, what were they doing?
Again,
Just
a bit
no reason
disappointed.
for it.
Is that just football fans in general?
They were trying
Like,
to abuse the under 12 like
Yeah.
trialing kids. I don't know, like what?
Because the under 12s, they got told.
Manly.
The under 12s, they got told not to rush the field, otherwise
They did.
I think they couldn't trial or something like
Which
that.
again, I really did not like.
Yeah, that's not what grassroots football is.
Yeah,
I
like
think-
you want to build a club and a culture, going to the young people, like with the young players, going, hey, don't storm onto the field when we win an important game that puts us into, quarterfinals?
But that's the concern as these non-professional teams progress through this competition, because it's going to get more professional for them.
Mm.
So the security's only going to, increase.
Passion's probably going to go down.
It is, and
just because of those kind of things.
and if we're being honest, we saw that, didn't we?
Yeah, 100%.
We saw that. There's probably about half of the Strikers faithful, as there
Yeah.
what there was in the round of 32 against
Yeah.
Wellington.
100%. I think that may have been to do with we were talking about this on the night. I think it may have had to do with the fact that they weren't playing as big of an opponent. I think people show out, like even the casual football fans. Like the whole reason we went really was because we were like, oh, Strikers,
And Bon Scott's
it's
there.
nearby.
Yeah.
Well, Bon Scott, in Bon
But
Scott
all-
we trust. He's the unofficial mayor of Brisbane.
Yeah, but also the fact that there was an A-League team playing.
That's what I mean. Like, we probably went because we were like, oh, cool, Wellington are playing at Perry Park
And Adelaide,
on a Wednesday night. Yeah, and Adelaide was the same reason.
But even still, not many Olympic fans really rocked up.
Yeah.
There was only about 40, maybe 30.
Could have been the problem with it being at Perry Park, not at their home ground.
Other side of Brisbane.
Yeah, I
which
don't know
is
why they've
bizarre.
done that.
But
I mean, the game itself was pretty dry, so...
The Adelaide one?
The
Strikers.
Oh, yeah, that
games.
one was pretty... Like, there was still interesting, though. There was still passion behind it. Like, you could see, like, it was interesting enough.
That was 1-0. It was Matty Richardson, the defender for the Strikers.
Killing it.
Header late in the game, 62nd minute, I think it was.
Yeah. Bon Scott had such a good game in net, though.
He pulled off some of the best saves I've seen.
Some great saves. Like,
Better than De Gea?
Oh, mate, he's 10 times better than De Gea. God, I haven't seen De Gea make saves like Bonnie Scott has.
Can De Gea do it on a cold
Wednesday night?
Wednesday night at Perry Park?
Yeah.
Don't know.
No, it was cold though, wasn't it?
It was a bit cold. But there's Guzman right across the road, so you sorted.
That was good.
Shameless plug.
Bon Scott, he did keep the Strikers in the game. Some of those saves in the final 15, 20 minutes were honestly insane. Yeah. I don't think he knew what he was doing. I think he probably closed his eyes and just starfished a bit. But no, he kept some really good shots out.
Absolutely killed it. And it begs the question, like, should more football be played at smaller venues like that? Yes. It's not even a bigger question.
It's not a debate, but it's all about money.
It is all about
money. That's what sport is now, unfortunately. So
yeah, in the NPL as well, we saw the NPLW champions, the Lions FC. We spoke about the Lions as a bad club name, but good work from them. And on women's sport, the QAFLW women's champions, Cooperoo, good on them. They've lost the final the last 2 years, being runners up. So it's good to see them finally get up.
The bridesmaids.
You like that one?
I did.
Against Bond, so that was awesome. Good stuff from them. And on the question of AFL, or on the topic of AFL,
footy
final series is coming around, boys, but not for a week because for some reason, as always, the AFL has decided, you know what? Everyone's keen for footy season. Let's chuck a week break right in between when finals are and the last game of the season. Why do they do this?
No, because if you're semi-injured, if you're about 2 weeks away from full health, then you get a go. Because that's what professional sport is.
I don't care.
Everybody gets a go. No, it's not. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
So stupid. But anyway, personal interest. Well, I guess the Lions will be playing Richmond, not this week, but next, at the Gabba. First time in ages, I think either 10 or 13 years. So that'll be awesome.
Well, coming off a loss against Richmond as well in the last round of the season.
They get another go at them.
It'll be interesting to see what happens in this one.
I'm really sorry to say this, Brisbane, but the Lions cannot beat the Tigers.
Yeah.
Simply cannot.
I mean, Lions the Gabba is a fortress this season, though. That's the only thing.
Irrelevant. I sat down and watched Richmond play the Lions.
That was so good.
The Lions were... the Tigers.
Yeah.
Were just so... They were just hitting everything.
Yeah.
They were hitting everything. They were
dominant.
so dominant.
Dusty had a great game. Everyone had a great... Dylan Grimes.
As always.
Such a good game. Dusty. He's an interesting one. Have you seen his Bonds commercials? Like, he's doing a collaboration with Bonds.
I'm probably
haven't
not
seen that.
Comes up on my YouTube as like a ad. I'm like, okay, thanks, Dusty. No, it's not a Bonds one. It's like t-shirts and
Yeah.
Hey, bleep that.
No, but the Lions cannot win. The Tigers at the G, I know it was at the G, and maybe that's a bit different, but they were just a yard quicker than everyone else.
Yeah, I think the Lions are they just get intimidated when they're away from home because they've won 10 from 11 games at the Gabba this season.
Well,
that's a pretty good record.
That's bloody good. So they might win this game, maybe.
Well, they do know that the grand finals are played at the MCG, right?
Exactly.
So they can't be intimidated by playing away. Yeah. And especially when you're a Brisbane team, you're travelling, 3 out of 4 weeks type thing, right?
Yeah,
probably.
Pretty much.
You've got to get used to playing away.
Oh yeah. They've had a great run towards the end of the season, but
I get Melbourne's cold, but you've got to suck it up and deal with it.
Yeah,
it's a shame they didn't finish in first place. I would have loved to see them, win the minor premiership.
Yeah, but
it's
also
it's the only trophy they're going to win this year.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Because I don't see them going all the way through to the final.
Again, I don't want to be the pessimist here. But I think I'm also just being a bit of a realist.
More positive though.
Yeah.
The doggies. Woo! When you guys were paying me out 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago for losing against the Lions, look who's in 7th, boys.
I don't know how.
The fact you're in 7th is pretty good.
It is very good. I mean, we've showed excellent form. No one wants to play us. Guess what happened last time we finished 7th, boys?
You won.
Won the flag, boys.
First flag in 60 years.
Why can't it happen again? But we're playing GWS. There's a lot of... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're deadly on form, but we can't... I don't know. We'll see.
You know what the thing is, though? Because of the AFL's great idea to have a week between the regular season and the finals, we can preview all this next week.
We certainly can. This is a great point.
Even though it should be next week.
It should be this week.
Game, but this week.
We can touch on it again. But anyway, we played...
It's got me so annoyed.
I know, I hate how it happens, but we're playing GWS. There's a lot of history between the clubs in GWS's short history. Lots of very aggressive, gets very unsociable very quickly against GWS between the Dogs. And I think that all comes back to our game at Spotless in the preliminary final in 2016, which I was at, which was one of the best days of my life. Actually, that game, I actually was more happy winning that game than winning the grand final. Honestly, yeah. I don't know. Everyone was the same though. We felt like we had our backs to the wall because we felt, why does GWS, a team with 0 supporters, get to have the preliminary final? Obviously, it's because of the way it works, but it was at Spotless. The capacity was terrible. We'd only been allotted 10,000 or something seats, and it's a terrible place for finals footy. Good place for regular season footy, but finals footy should not be played there. But the All-Australian AFL All-Australian team has been announced. Some big ones there.
Shout out to Dusty Martin and Ben Brown, who both made the team. They did.
I cannot believe Ben Brown didn't make the side.
After stellar seasons, they both had to make the team, right?
Yeah, God.
No, unfortunately.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Ben Brown is the big omission. Dusty as well.
How do you come second in the Coleman and not make the All-Australian team?
It's a good question. It's a bloody good question. I think he should have. I think he should have at least made the bench instead of someone like Scott Pendlebury.
I think there's a lineup.
Yeah.
When you're lining up a set shot, he
runs
in from far too long. So
I think
that's probably the reason why I didn't get the.
Yeah, I think that's
I don't know how they picked Tom Hawkins over.
He's had a pretty good season.
Ben Brown.
I think it's the same. He's had a good year.
He's got more goal involvements.
It's the same reason as Scott Pendlebury, really.
Mm.
His name adds weight.
Oh, 100%. Tomahawk was just in there, not just in there for name, but I mean, Sideshow Bob probably should have been in there.
Yeah. Well, who's the biggest omission? Is it Ben Brown?
Yeah, I'd say so, personally. Dusty had a good season.
Talk about Dusty. Gaz,
yeah. Dusty Martin, probably, he only really started kicking on from round 9, though. Before that, he was a little bit, I think he was averaging 21 possessions, which is not up to his standards, which after round 9, he started averaging, I think, 29 possessions. So, and that's fantastic. Anything 25 plus is good. Well, anything is good, but some good players getting in there, though. Harris Andrews of the Lions.
Charlie
Cameron, and Lockie Neal. So they're all the Lions players. They got starting gigs.
Lockie Neal, though.
Oh,
I want to segue into this seamlessly. Who is the recruit of 2019?
He's got to be up there. I mean,
every day.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. The AFL Fan Awards have come out.
Brushing over it.
No, I'm talking about it now. The AFL Fan Awards have been announced, which is what my co-host Finn here was talking about. The 4 recruits that have been shortlisted are Lockie Neal and Jared Lyons of the Lions, and then Dylan Shield and Tom Lynch. So Dylan Shield from the Bombers and Tom Lynch from the Tigers.
I actually expected a lot more from Dylan Shield.
Yeah, I think he's played well, though. He's had a pretty good season.
But still, when he was at the Giants, he was a top player, and I think he's kind of fallen back a bit.
Yeah, but that Essendon team, although they made finals somehow...
I don't know how.
They are shocking. But he's really carried there.
I was at the G last week to watch them play the Pies, and they did look good. I couldn't help but think about the Bulldogs in 2016 and think, could the Dons do this? Because they rested...
It's a very similar side.
They did rest a lot of their players.
It's a very similar side because of... in 2016, Dogs had a pretty bad percentage going into the finals. It was similar. It was a bit of an ugly kind of team. Although everyone was rooting for us, it was a bit of an ugly kind of team. A former Dog is in that team as well, Jake Stringer, who won the 2016 premiership with us. But for me, it's between Lockie Neal and Tom Lynch for this one, for the recruit of the year.
But Tom Lynch, he's also been underwhelming. At least that is my opinion.
He's pretty up there in the Coleman medal.
He's definitely saved his career since leaving the Gold Coast.
Oh, great move for him.
Leaving the Gold Coast, that's just a great move in itself.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's the future of the club, though, in terms of going forward, in terms of forward line.
He is, but you think about his expectation going into the season.
Mm.
It was all, Tom Lynch is signing for the Tigers. They're a sure thing for the flag.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, he's learning from Jack Rewalt, which is excellent for him. He's going to learn so much.
Yeah, imagine that. What a player. Lucky.
He's so good. What are you on about?
No, I'm being serious. I actually quite like Jack Rewalt.
I mean, he had a bit of a hissy fit the other day.
He does, but that's
Did
part
you
of his
see that?
character.
Alright, it's annoying. In terms of those fan awards, though, we saw some other interesting ones. We saw fan favourites. So the fan favourite finalists were Sydney Stack, Liam Ryan, Anthony McDonald, Tippin Woody, and Brodie Grundy. So what do you reckon, boys? Who's your favourite out of them for this season?
Probably Brodie.
Brodie, yeah.
Yeah. I'd have to say.
He's been pretty excellent.
Yeah, Brodie.
He's definitely my favourite ruckman, other than Tim English of the Dogs. Like he's definitely the most dominant ruckman in the league.
Oh, yeah.
Hands down. Liam Ryan's been my favourite there. McDonald, Tippin Woody's had some good moments. On that, his moment against North Melbourne, winner in the last 20 seconds, snap from the boundary. This is the clutch player of the year, one of them. The other ones that have been shortlisted are Link McCarthy's grab against the Cats, which
It's got to be that.
It's got to be that, 100%.
Sure.
We're just too biased.
It's not even a question.
As Brisbaneites, I think we're too biased.
No, that's 100% the play. It's also another one was Mark Murphy against Fremantle and Michael Walters against the Lions. But Link McCarthy, this isn't even a question. It's Link McCarthy.
The thing about
Let's
that mark,
move
though,
on.
is that you think about the circumstance of it all, too. Not only was it the game winner,
Against his old club.
his old club, one hell of a grab,
Oh, yeah.
but also it gave the Lions the chance to win the minor premiership
Yep.
the next week, which
Which they spoiled
surprised they
Yeah.
didn't. But
Important moment regardless, though.
I will say this, though, guys. We're a grassroots podcast, though, right? Like
Yes.
bit of grassroots.
Yeah, so we'll get back onto NEFL maybe.
Should
Yeah.
we?
Yeah, let's talk about it. The elimination finals are up this week in the NEFL. So both Southport and Lions will have a week off, but there's the elimination finals, which will be Sydney Uni versus Swans, down in Sydney, obviously, and Aspley versus the Giants, up here in Aspley. So if you're there, get around to it.
Did the Lions really earn a week off? I don't know if they've done enough.
I don't think they have either. Their percentage is just ridiculous. They've really been dominating the competition. They've got to be sure favourites after going out quite early last year, but they won the year before. The NEFL Team of the Year has been announced as well. Coaching it is the Brisbane Lions' Mitch Hahn.
Again, what's he done?
What's he done? I mean, he's just,
Terrible coach.
led an undefeated side to the premiership. I'm surprised there's not more Lions players in
Yeah,
this.
how many? There's
I
like
think-
5 in
I think
there.
there was
or
5,
something.
which
Yeah.
is a bit ridiculous when your team does go undefeated.
That's ridiculous to me. Like, you've got Matt Eagles. You've got one defender in an undefeated
Matt
side.
Eagles, the man from the recruit.
Yeah.
That was a funny
Big
show.
out
Surely
of
that
there.
whole side should just be the Brisbane Lions.
Surely. Well, I mean, you've got Ben Keys and Ryan Bastanak. They've had great seasons. But
Great seasons.
And then on the bench, you also have Keaton Coleman and Corey Lyons. But one person who's had an insane season is the full forward of that Team of the Year, Matt Hamilman, who was the leading goal scorer, leading goal kicker.
A lot of M's in that name.
Matt Hamilman. That is a lot of M's. He kicked 66 goals and averaged 8 marks.
Jeez.
And averaged 8 score
Probably
involvements.
deserved it.
Very
Yeah,
much so
yeah.
deserved it. That's miles above anyone else. Someone else who's on the bench for that team is...
This is surprising. He's on the bench.
This is surprising. Jake Bartholomew, he's on the bench,
He's on the bench.
but he's the most valuable player.
but he got the MVP.
That doesn't really make sense.
How?
sense to me.
Why is that? He got 73 MVP votes and averaged 27 disposals a game, which is fantastic for them as well. I don't know how he's not in the starting lineup.
Yeah,
though.
let's try and figure that one out. That's a problem that needs solving.
Yeah, I don't really understand how that's worked. But on the other hand, someone who was playing half back for that team was Angus Baker, who got the NEFL Rising Star. So congrats to him. He averaged 30 disposals
From the Canberra Demons.
from the Canberra Demons. He averaged 30 disposals. So good from him.
Is it?
What is it? No, I think it's pretty average from him, to be honest.
If I just got
I
my,
could do better.
If I got my shot,
You reckon?
God, yeah.
all 5'7" of me, I don't know. I'd take them on.
I reckon you could ruck for them.
Yeah, I think so.
You reckon?
I'd do a pretty good job too.
Mm.
Speaking of rucking, that's a good segue into the world of rugby union.
Oh,
Yeah, rucking. Did you get it?
I
yeah,
got the reference.
I get it.
Funny story.
Explain it. I didn't really get
Well,
it.
no, the first time so obviously born in Melbourne and grew up in Western Australia. The first time I played rugby when I moved to Brisbane, I was like, oh yeah, sweet. I went to a rugby training. I was like, oh yeah, I'll do some rucking. Went to go jump up as a ruckman, and they're like, no, it's down on the ground where you scrounge for the ball. I was like, what? I literally thought I was getting ready like Brody Grundy to go. I was like,
Is that true?
Yeah.
this is true.
It's hilarious.
This is 100% true.
Yeah.
I was like, I had no idea. I was like, all right, I'm ready for it. And I was so thrown off by what a ruck was in rugby compared to what it was in AFL. But anyway, continue. Well, the rugby.
Bit of rugby.
We touched on it before, and I don't really want to talk about it again, but I think we will.
Yep.
TSS beat BBC 23-20.
Yep.
BBC scored 4 tries to TSS's 2, but they didn't kick in conversion.
No,
And
it cost them. I was at the game. I was thinking, okay, it's a shame that we've missed all our kicks, and this will probably end up costing us in the end. And yep, they did.
Well, I think to be a good rugby side, you do need to kick
You
your
need a
goals.
kicker, yeah.
Yeah, fair play to TSS. They crawled their way back. BBC
Yeah.
were up 15-3 at half time.
Oh, BBC were the better side for the majority of this game.
But within 15 minutes of the second half, though, TSS were leading 17-15.
Yeah.
So, man, they are just dominant. Again, good win, but Campbell, Grammar, lost 43-12 to Terrace.
No longer the Kings of the Hill.
Terrace have won their
No.
first game now.
What does that do for your season
Destined
now?
for the wooden spoon.
Oh, you are
Um,
now, because Churchy
Yeah.
beat
Churchy
Ibby,
also beat it.
which-
Do we need to talk? Do we need to have another therapy session this
No.
week?
No, you're right, mate.
I'm all up of my therapy sessions.
You
It's-
didn't pay me for last week.
Oh,
Oi,
cheeky,
oi,
cheeky, oi, oi. Well, maybe if we get a sponsor, we would be able to pay for it.
Yeah.
I would love to have a sponsor for
a
the
sponsor
podcast.
would be great.
I don't know why you're exaggerating that word.
What word? Sponsor?
Yeah, that's the one you keep saying it.
I don't know, because I'd really like a sponsor
It's a terrible
for this
gag, mate.
podcast.
You're better.
All
than-
right,
you're
yeah,
better
I'm
than
just
that.
talking to all potential sponsors right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, kind of funny after 2.
Now you've dragged it out. a
Too
little
many
bit, and
sponsor
it's-
jokes.
it's
We'll
not-
kill it.
Okay.
It's
you're
coming
gonna-
back.
Alright, it's dead.
It's coming
Gonna
back.
have
a
to
It's
bit.
coming back a bit.
Gonna have
It's
to
getting
stop.
some credibility
No,
again.
Alright.
Ippy, again, came into the season as one of the teams to beat.
Favourites, yeah.
They went
Well, not
favourites,
favourites,
Guzzy.
but one of the top 3 sides.
Top 4 sides, guys.
Top 4.
Top
Top 3. Top 4.
Top 4.
Top 4.
And they had a very disappointing loss to Churchy. At home, too. That is their season well and truly in
Yep.
the dust.
Yep.
They needed to win every game and hope that TSS lost
Yep.
2.
They've lost 3 in a row now.
They have.
Ipswich.
They have.
So it's not looking good for them.
They have. And T-Bar got up over State High,
In a 26-10.
26-10. But special shout-out as well to Fraser McWright. We interviewed him in episode 1, and he has just been named as the captain of Brisbane City.
Yeah, good stuff, Fraser.
Mm.
Congratulations. I mean, again, is it our influence?
Could be.
I think so.
Yeah.
I
I
think
think
it
so.
is.
Not so much Gussie, but
That's funny.
Jack Pack.
I mean,
Dude, you're
Jack
hilarious.
packed his way into getting a nod for the captaincy.
Maybe that was just a bit of good luck, me saying Jack Pack.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Everything's going right for Fraser now. So maybe
Yeah,
we
that's the
we
theory.
were a good influence.
But NRC does start this Saturday. Yeah, does start this Saturday. We've got Brisbane City taking on the defending champions Fijian Jura at Yoku Road.
How do you pronounce it?
What was it? Is it
Fiji
it's
and
Drua.
Jura.
Jura? Yeah, that's what I said.
Jura.
Yeah, loaded this.
That's what I said. I just
Sure you did, mate.
that's what I said. Anyway, they're playing at Yoku Road, so they're playing at Jeeps on Saturday. And following that game is Western Force. Remember them? They're hosting Queensland Country. over in
Remember
Perth.
them?
I saw that in a lineup and I was like, wait, what?
It's
What is
so-
a Western Force?
It's
Oh.
just they should be.
Vague memories of the honey badger.
They should be. Playing,
Yeah.
They should be playing Super Rugby.
Should they?
Yeah, not the Rebels.
Not in Western Australia.
Why are you
though.
Why are you trying to base a rugby team in Melbourne and trying to work
Why
your
you-
way into that market? It's not going to happen.
It's the same
Yeah.
thing for Western Australia.
They've only got AFL though.
Because no one bloody likes rugby there.
Yeah, they do. They just
No,
sold
they
out
don't. There's just a lot of South Africans. That's
They
it.
just
they like rugby.
dude.
Yeah, but
no.
they were terrible. No one likes
Dude,
rugby. in
Western Australia is a cricket and AFL
100%.
place.
Yeah, but
You-
cricket's not on 12 months of the year.
Well,
AFL for the rest.
yeah, it's
I get it,
AFL,
but
and
they've got to have more than two sports. One
Are
for
you
each
are you
summer.
deciding what the people of
Season.
Western Australia would like?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to see
Mayor
a rugby.
Finn.
I'd love to see a rugby league side in
All right,
Western
guys.
Australia, but
I'm gonna go.
yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna go
probably
run
just not
for.
gonna happen.
I'm gonna go run for state
You're gonna
premier
go
of
run for
WA.
straight premier. I reckon Bon Scott could run for it.
Oh, I'd give it to him.
I would give it to
Yeah.
him too.
He's got my vote.
I think we need to put a picture of him up here in the bunker.
Should we worship it?
Yeah.
I think so too.
The holy day can be
We're not
Thursdays.
worthy. We're not worthy.
We are not worthy.
Don't get me started talking about Wayne's World too, mate. Love to. Alrighty, guys. Wrapping it up. Cheers for this week. That was a great interview with Lucy Stevens, so thank you again, Lucy.
Thank you very much, Lucy.
Yeah,
And,
that was great.
I'm going to go be a politician. So, cheers, guys.
All right, he's off to be a politician. Hey, if you're still listening, please follow us on Instagram at _ Beyond the Sidelines. You can also find us on Facebook at Beyond the Sidelines. And make sure you listen to our podcast either on YouTube, on Facebook, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else you get your podcasts, YouTube, things like that. Cheers for listening.